This episode of the Fiction Writers Podcast is brought to you by How to Write a Novel That Sells. Do you dream of writing a best-selling fiction novel? With the right tools, you could get there sooner than you think. Visit www.howtowriteanovelthatsells.com and unlock the secrets to writing compelling fiction taught by international best-selling author Lana McAra. Welcome to the Fiction Writers Podcast with Lana McAra, where you will discover tips, tricks, and ideas for fiction that is #unputdownable. Here you'll find new energy, new perspectives, new resources, and new ideas that will spark your creativity into a blaze of brilliance. It's easier than you think. Be sure you visit our website at www.fictionwriterspodcast.com. While you're there, subscribe to us via your favorite network. Now, get out your notebook, tune in, and let's get started.
Settings are facts, right? Settings just are. Whether you're in New York City, Arizona, or out somewhere in a prairie or in Ireland, a setting is a setting. Is that true? Or maybe not. That's what we're going to talk about today. My name is Lana McAra. Welcome to the Fiction Writers Podcast. Tips, tricks, and ideas for fiction that is #unputdownable. So what about setting? Is it just a static catalog of what the place looks like and all the senses about the place, what it smells like, tastes like, sounds like, and all that? Well, there's a lot more to it than that. First of all, setting can affect the mood. So if you want to have a scary or threatening setting, you would make it on a stormy night. Or if you have a very lighthearted setting, then you'd make it at the beach or at a park or a fair or something. So it definitely can affect the mood, but it goes further than that. It is a setting is a depiction of your main character, your point of view character. Because in a story, whoever's point of view you are writing, that person's attitudes, history, psychic wounds, all of it, their personality affects how they see a setting. A person who is adventurous and loves to experience thrills would see a sports car, a souped up sports car, as a fun thing. And they would just love all the sensations and the rocking of the car and the swaying and the feeling of the movement. And if the top's down, the wind and all that would just be such a wonderful experience for them. And so that setting would be great. But if you have a different character who's afraid, someone who's been in a car accident and saw what happens to people when they crash, that person will see everything as a threat, every sound, every movement. They'll be clenching onto something and see the car as a total scary place. So your main character is going to inform you of how to portray the setting. What does that character notice about it? What do they notice? What don't they notice? You should never write what they don't notice, because you're in a point of view. You only show what that person sees, hears, tastes, smells, feels. But you need to know what they don't notice, so you don't put that in. If you have a carpenter going into an old house that's going to be renovated, that person is going to be looking at what needs to be done. How much work is this going to take? What's it going to cost? That's what's going through their mind. So they're only going to notice the flaws and the things that aren't looking very good, that it needs to be fixed, updated. Someone who is in love with old homes and loves restoration from the point of view of, wow, I'm going to get to live in a house that was here during the Civil War. They're going to see other things. They're going to see the moldings, the custom-made windows, and the prospects what their imagination tells them it can look like when it's done. And so those are the things you would mention. When they come in, you're going to talk about the heartwood floors and the beautiful crown molding that someone crafted with their hands. That's what you're going to describe in your scene. You're only going to describe what they notice, what they see, and how they feel about it. So your setting is limited to your main character's perspective. This is huge. This is important. I see it in new writers all the time. They want to go in and start at the door and work their way around the entire room, when actually they should be hitting highlights of what their main character notices, their point of view character. What is that first thing that point of view character is going to notice? If they're freezing cold from coming in out from the outside, they're going to notice the fireplace and head for it. Then once they're at the fireplace, they're going to turn around, and wherever the person, their host, is standing, that's where their eye's going to go next. And what about that place where the host is standing, or are they going to think about? What are they going to notice about it? Or maybe they're not even going to notice it at all. Maybe they're not going to notice it at all until they take a seat. Which seat did they pick? What is that seat like? Do they like it or not? Are they comfortable or not? You're in their mind. And so when you're writing the setting, you're going to be thinking about what they see first, what they do first, relating to the setting, and what do they do next and next, because you are in their head. And when you think about where you've been in the past, what do you remember about it? Those are the highlights that your character is also going to notice as well when you're in their head. They're not you. And so that's where it's important to know your character extremely well. Setting is so useful for showing the main character's perspective and giving insights into how they view the world. So don't just pass it over as a backdrop. It's far more than a backdrop. I hope that helps you today. My name is Lana McAra. See you next time.
Thank you for tuning into the Fiction Writers Podcast with Lana McAra, where we share tips, tricks, and ideas for fiction that is #unputdownable. Remember to visit our website at www.fictionwriterspodcast.com and enjoy even more great episodes like this one. Again, while you're here, subscribe to us via your favorite network. We look forward to seeing you next time on the Fiction Writers Podcast.